a Swedish doctor that is malpracticing here in Sweden. And you take an autistic black boy and you sit there, you're telling him that he's a criminal for being autistic and having his intellectual disability. And she has been doing this for the past 1 year now. Tell you why they put you here.
Yeah, she told me they put me here because I committed a crime.
Okay. So she told you that you committed a crime being an autistic boy. A medical doctor sits there and is trying to brainwash him to see himself as a criminal. Recently now they've banned my family from visiting him because when we go and visit him, we record things like this. And Sweden doesn't want tapes like this to be put out there because they want to go out there and tell you how they have the best healthcare because they are not talking about abuse that is going on behind closed doors in their healthcare. Hey guys, welcome to Analysis with Jenny. Here we talk about everything. Feel free to share your thoughts, your opinion in whatever thing. But remember, as you share your thoughts and your opinion, be polite as you do that. Today's video is going to be about a Swedish doctor that is malpracticing here in Sweden. And the video is going to be a little bit personal, or maybe a lot personal to me, because the doctor in question that is malpracticing, she's malpracticing on somebody that is very close to me. If you have been following me for a while, you know that I have this other page called My Autism Journey in Sweden, where I've been documenting my autistic and intellectual disabled brother here in Sweden, talking about how he's been labeled as a criminal, how he's been tortured in Sweden. Yes, and the person in question doing it is a medical doctor. Yes, so today I'm going to be talking about how medical doctors are allowed to malpractice here in the Swedish system, and little or nothing is done to block them out, because not only am I going to be telling you about a medical doctor malpracticing, but I'm also going to show you a tape or a video of my autistic brother talking about how his doctor is calling him a criminal. How does a doctor sit and call an autistic and intellectual disabled boy a criminal by telling him that it's a criminal? Are criminals not people that have a choice and people that understand consequences of their action? You take an autistic black boy and you sit there, you're telling him that he's a criminal for being autistic and having his intellectual disability. And she has been doing this for the past 1 year now. She restricted him, telling him how he's not going to talk to his family, he's not going to see his family. And if you want to understand more about it, you can follow his Facebook page or his Instagram account called My Autism Journey in Sweden, where I've been documenting how he's been restricted, how he's not allowed to talk to his family, how he's not allowed to have any contact with us. And the so-called medical doctor, she is doing that. And every attempt of my family trying to stop her. On the contrary, the Swedish government is coming after my family. I've even put a document where the Nice shopping squad in Sweden told my family that we have to pay a fine because we're documenting how my autistic and intellectual disabled brother is being tortured or being punished by a Swedish medical doctor in Sweden. So this is an example to show you how medical doctors can easily malpractice here in Sweden, especially when they are malpracticing on a black person or a person of color. Nobody stops them, nobody does anything. On the contrary, the government instead comes after the patient's loved ones, like my family, that is trying to document it or trying to expose it or trying to get rid of that doctor. Because I want us to watch this video that we're going to watch right now in a minute. This is a video of my autistic brother talking, and I want you guys to listen to me because I'm the one at the background questioning him or asking him some questions. Did she tell you why they put you here?
Yeah, she told me they put me here because I committed a crime.
Okay, so she told you that you committed a crime being an autistic boy because you had autism the day of your crime. What happened that day? That you got stuck in a shopping mall, and you have autism level 2. And people in autism level 2, they have a tendency of getting stuck in places. And when you got stuck, the police officer and the security guards were supposed to help you, not punish you or call you a criminal. And the other incident, it was your social case worker that you got stuck again in her office. Instead of her helping you out, she called the police and then they pressed charges. So your crime is that as an autistic person in Sweden, a black autistic boy, when you get stuck in a place, instead of the government and the security and the police helping you out of that place, they'll rather punish you and then put you in a place where you cannot have access to your family. You listened to the video and you heard what he said. He said his doctor said he's there because he's a criminal. How is an autistic and intellectual disabled boy a criminal? My brother has autism level 2. That comes with his intellectual disability, and people in autism level 2, they tend to have a compulsive behavior. They can quickly get stuck in a place. He got stuck in the place. The police are called to help him. On the contrary, the police stand around and they press charges, and even after the police had have pressed charges, he was being sentenced to the Swedish maximum psychiatric facilities in Kashuden. And that center is one of the worst centers in the Sweden. And you know why I say it's one of the worst centers? If you follow the case of Olof Palme in Sweden, the Swedish prime minister that was killed in Sweden, do you know where they put the suspect that they believe that killed Olof Palme? He was put in Kashuden. So Kashuden is meant for hardened criminals in Sweden, for people that have lost it, that don't have any place in the society. So indirectly, Sweden is saying that my brother doesn't have any place in the Swedish society because of his disability. How does his disability stop him from being with his family or being around his family? This is something, his disability is something that he was born with. He was born with his autism and intellectual disability. Now the Swedish government is taking that disability of his and using to punish him by paying a medical doctor to sit there and tell him how he's a criminal. What criminality has my brother committed? Or his disability that he was born with, that he himself did not even choose to have, because he did not choose to be an autistic person. He did not choose to have his intellectual disability. That is something that he was born with. So now a medical doctor sits there and is trying to brainwash him to see himself as a criminal. And this tape that you just watched, this video, I took this video, I think it was last year, it was in 2019 when I went to visit him. And because every time I go and visit him, because recently now they've banned my family from visiting him, because when we go and visit him, we record things like this. And Sweden doesn't want tapes like this to be put out there, because they want to go out there and tell you how they have the best healthcare, because they are not talking about abuse that is going on behind closed doors in their healthcare. This video that you just recently watched, I took it in 2019. That was when I went to visit my brother, because every time I go visit him there, I make sure that I do a little bit of clip of him. I ask him questions, ask him how he's feeling, what is going on with him there. And this video was one of the videos that I made in 2019 that I went to visit him. WHO will come and tell us that Sweden has the best healthcare. And that's why I tell you that WHO is giving you the wrong statistics, because WHO is telling you Sweden has the best healthcare based on the fact that Sweden is free. But look at what a free healthcare is doing. A free healthcare is paying doctors to go around abusing their patient, going around malpracticing on their patient, because this is malpracticing. You cannot sit as a medical doctor and telling your patient that has a disability that your patient did not choose to have, trying to brainwash that patient to believe that that patient is a criminal for having that disability, because criminals are people that we believe that they have a choice, and they also understand consequences of their action. So if she's calling my autistic brother a criminal, that means she's saying that my autistic brother had a choice. He chose to be disabled. He chose to have his autism. He chose to be intellectually disabled, to have his intellectual disability. He chose that. And how many more of her patients as she sat them down like this and she's informing them that, you know what, you are a criminal for who you are. And that medical doctor again, she has never been investigated. My family has played this particular tape that I'm playing. This is one of the few tapes. I have a lot of tapes like this. And you carry all these tapes around and you show Swedish journalists, organizations, Swedish people in the system. And instead of them going around to investigate the lady, on the contrary, they are asking my family to pay a fine. Yes, I've put a document that I said in the shopping court in Sweden told my family, my mom and myself, that we have to pay a fine because we documented Kashuden. We're not allowed to document Kashuden. We're not allowed to document what is going on. So you see what is going on in Sweden. Medical doctors are given the right to sit and malpractice. And then when you expose them, they tell you to pay a fine. And the document, if you're very interested to read about the fine that the Swedish government put on my family, you can read it on his Facebook Instagram account called My Autism Journey here in Sweden. The medical doctor in charge of my autistic and intellectual disabled brother, what she's doing, she's being paid by the Swedish government. She's malpracticing on him. And if you want to go, Sweden will tell you how they have a free healthcare. But your free healthcare, a doctor is sitting there and malpracticing. So at the end of the day, you're just using freeness as a way of luring your victims to come to your healthcare, to give it to your doctors to malpractice on. And then you come and give us the statistics of you have the best healthcare because it's free. Best healthcare is not only based on freeness, like I keep saying that. Best healthcare is also based on quality, because the most important thing at the end of the day is the treatment. How good was the treatment? Did the treatment create more harm, or did the treatment save what the treatment was supposed to save? That's what is more important in healthcare. A lot of immigrants don't go to the Swedish healthcare, and a lot of times people feel like, oh, immigrants are not going to the Swedish healthcare because they don't just want to go to the healthcare. How do you want a black person, how do you want an immigrant to go to the Swedish healthcare after watching this video? Because I'm not even gonna lie, myself, I am scared of the Swedish healthcare. I'm not even gonna lie, I am scared of the Swedish healthcare. The fact that I've watched a medical doctor malpractice on my brother and she has not been fired and she still has a license. Every day I ask myself, how many more black people does that woman have and she's malpracticing on like she's doing on my brother? That's the question I ask myself every day. How many more black people is that woman keeping captive in the Swedish healthcare? And she's malpracticing like she's doing on my brother. So how do you want me to go to your healthcare, Sweden? Just because you open your healthcare free and you put malpracticing doctors doesn't mean I'm going to give my life to a doctor to kill. No, you might keep your doctors there that you have groomed them and taught them that malpracticing is okay. But then you don't expect immigrants, because this video that I'm showing you, a lot of people have seen it, friends of my family, It's on social media. They have posted it even on my brother's Facebook page and Instagram account called My Autism Journey in Sweden. I've posted it also on his page. Relatives, a lot of people have seen it. And how do you expect people to watch this kind of video, Sweden, and you want them to still go to your healthcare? Let's be realistic. After watching this kind of video, you start to ask yourself, what is really going on? After watching this kind of video and seeing and knowing that the doctor that is doing this kind of action, she has not been plucked out. So you ask yourself, how many more doctors are like her in the system? How many medical doctors are like Jenna William that are sitting there malpracticing and nobody has plucked her out or nobody has plucked them out? And they're sitting there and they're holding their patients captive because their patients look different or their patients are black people. How many? Because I'm not going to give my life to a white doctor that is going to kill it because that white doctor has been given the privilege by a white country or a white system to abuse black people. I'm not going to do that. And that's why I say I am scared of the Swedish healthcare, because the Swedish healthcare is a white system, and the white system in Sweden has shown that they can give a white doctor the power to malpractice on black people. And not only do I know about it, I've seen it. My brother is an example and is a victim of it. So how do you want me and how do you want other black people to come to your healthcare? Sweden, you might not know about it because a lot of times Swedes will not tell you that part. They will always tell you how, oh, immigrants don't come to our healthcare because immigrants don't want to go there. No, they don't want to go there because tips like this, evidence like my brother's case, are clear examples of what might happen to you if you get in there. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. And guys, don't forget to like, share, and your comments. And as you share your comments or share your thoughts, always remember to be polite. Yes, guys. So thank you, guys. See you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.